Today, let's talk about an emotion or a state of mind which is better than peace, joy, love, and many of the positive emotions for the body's immune system and for its good health. If you're new here, my name is Dinesh, and for the last 30 years with the Art of Living Foundation, Bawa and we have been helping people navigate their challenges, realize their dreams, and live happily a life of meaning and purpose. So to that end, let's delve into this. A study which was conducted over 25 years by a scientist called Dacher Keltner from the University of California, Berkeley, UC Berkeley. He studied how this one emotion can trigger our vagus nerve. It can reduce the inflammation of the body and bring in a host of good health markers. And what is that emotion? So, peace did not win. It was not joy, it was not love, it was not gratitude, it was not confidence or compassion. It was awe, a sense of wonder. Now, what does this do to us? First and foremost, when we are in a state of awe, it triggers the vagus nerve. Vagus is the wandering nerve, the longest nerve of the human body, and its triggering, it reduces the flight and fight mode. So instead of survival mode, we go into thriving mode. We can go into rest and digest, heal mode. So that is what the vagus nerve does. Along with that, they found out that there is a cytokine called interleukin 6, which is an inflammation marker. Meaning, whenever the body wants to protect itself, the inflammation markers will increase in the body. Now, a little bit of it is good, but when it goes out of hand, then that's where inflammation becomes like an indicator for so many of the diseases. Every other disease that we are facing today, the root cause can be traced to inflammation. Right from depression or Alzheimer's, many of the cancers, diabetes, IBS, leaky gut syndrome, cardiovascular diseases, so many of the problems, the aches and pains that we feel in today's lifestyle is because of inflammation. And this goes down when we experience a sense of awe in life. Every time we get into this wonder, we are awestruck, then that interleukin 6 plummets. And that boosts the immune system, that increases the health within us. Where all has awe been talked about in the Indian scriptures, it is fascinating to know. In the Sutras, Shiva is saying Vismayo Yoga Bhumika. The very basis of yoga, of integration, of understanding, of union is wonder. Until and unless we get into the state of wonder, oh, what is this body? Oh, what is this life? What is this mind? How does it work? What is the consciousness? Until we wonder about it, we cannot get to the truth. So if you see all the Indian saints, the rishis, the gurus, they were scientists. They wondered about life, the universe and everything. They pondered on it, and then they discovered such amazing truths. There is a fabulous video by Bawa. You can see it here, how in ancient India we knew so much of science, inside and outside. So Shiva says, Vismayo Yoga Bhumika. We start with that sense of wonder. Only when we are in wonder can the mind be free of doubt. It can start exploring, discovering, and understanding reality as it is. Narad Muni, in his Bhakti Sutras, he starts with Athato Bhaktim Vyakhyasya, meaning Bhakti, devotion, is the pinnacle of love. We've all experienced love. When you take it to its peak, that's how Bhakti happens. And understanding this Bhakti a little bit can make you intoxicated, can bring that state of awe. He says, Yad gyatva matto bhavati, stabdo bhavati, atma ramo bhavati. The mind comes to a standstill. It can be intoxicated with that divine love. So, it's really wonderful. That is where it is said the greatest fortune is to have a spiritual master in your life. Then you can really experience this taste of divine love, where there is love and respect at its utmost. Then Patanjali Maharshi also says that in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Ashtavakra Gita, there is so much of awe and wonder when sage Ashtavakra is telling King Janaka about the reality, about how the consciousness is. King Janaka is in this perpetual, constant state of awe. He says, Aho Niranjano, Aho Niranjano. He keeps going into this insights and awe about, oh my God, this is reality, this is the truth. Then in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna, instead of telling Arjuna that among all the different emotions I am awe, he just shows his Virat Roop to Arjuna. His cosmic form, that everything and anything that is there is nothing but divinity. And Arjuna goes into this overwhelm. He's a little scared. He says, yes, I have seen your glories. Now can I see that simple form of yours? So Krishna actually takes Arjuna into that state of awe. So Arjuna just doesn't go, oh, nice visuals, bro. No, he goes into that sense of wonder, marvel. In so many of the shlokas that we chant for any of the deities, they have that sense of wonder, that awe embedded in them. Let's take Ganesha. We start from Ganesha, right? We say Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurme Devas Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. One sun is so bright and radiant, resplendent. Now imagine a Koti Surya, meaning millions of suns. That is awe-inspiring, right? So just imagining that, we get into that Ganesh Shakti. Yeah, we can awaken that within us, which can remove all obstacles. For Shiva, we say Shambho Mahadeva, meaning you are so auspicious. You are really awe-inspiring. The rishis, they went into meditation and they realized that auspiciousness of the Shiva Tattva, that is all encompassing everywhere, inside, outside, and exclamation that came from within was Shambho. The Gayatri mantra, the mantra Raj, it is called the king of mantras. It says Om Bhur Bhuvassuha Tat Savitur Varenyam, meaning that which is worthy of worship, that which is so magnificent, so resplendent. That is what I meditate on. That is what my intellect be alive with. That is the Gayatri mantra. Even in the Indian dance form, Bharat Muni says in the Natya Shastra, of the 9 rasas, meaning that which makes life juicy, the 9 states of mind, the 9 emotions or feelings, one of them is Adbut. Adbut means a sense of wonder, awe that awakens every sense, it deepens your perception. So that is Adbut. Our saints also, whether it was Jnaneshwar, Tukaram, Eknath, Samartha Ramdas, or whether it was Basava or the Siddhas from Tamil Nadu, all of them have expounded on this awe. Jnaneshwar, at one point he says, seeing the glory, even the sun and the moon, they are going into Vismay. Now, how do we awaken? If everybody has spoken about it, now science is catching up with it. That this is so good for the body. The mind gets exploded, expanded. That's why we say mind blowing. The ego gets humbled. The ego sort of dissolves and vanishes. You connect with something much bigger than you, with the vastness. The consciousness just expands. You connect with everyone. These are the benefits of awe. Now, how do we get into this state? First and foremost, slow down. Awe cannot happen in a hurry. And many a times we are in this constant state of hurry. We are in this action addiction. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. In doing, we've forgotten the state of being. Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar at one point says that being busy with the tasks of life, we have forgotten the purpose of life. Taking time off with yourself, taking that pause in between all the action and the activity. is important. Gurudev, as he is expounding on the Vigyan Bhairav, he gives us a mudra, how to get into this chakit state. What to do instantly, you can be in this awe. But for that, first we have to slow down. Second is come to the breath. The breath can anchor the mind. Attention stabilizes the mind. And that stability, it can unlock awe within the system. When we are not in the state of awe, when we feel awful and not awesome, that's when the breath, you will notice, it becomes uneven. It may become rapid, it may become shallow. How to bring back the rhythm in the breath, which is what effectively happens in the Sudarshan Kriya. Or when you meditate, you take the Sahaj mantra and meditate. The breath cools down, calms down. It becomes even, it becomes light and deep. So the breath can anchor. So first of all, slow down. Pay attention to the breath. Third, go deeper or go vaster. What happens? Your perception deepens. You can find that awe in small little things or in the magnificence that is out there. And lastly, awe is the opposite side of the spectrum of boredom. And nowadays there's this constant refrain by many people in general. They say, oh, I am bored. And then we want to quickly get out of that state. We go into doom scrolling or binge watching or keep eating, doing something to get out of that state of boredom. Gurudev has also said this: if you feel you're bored, know you're lucky. Sit with that boredom. If the boredom is coming, welcome it. Shake hands with it, embrace it. And you be with that boredom for a little while, you will notice how that shifts into a keener sense of observation, and you open the door for awe to come into your life. That sense of wonder, of grandeur. America has even a whole universe called the Marvel universe. You marvel at all the different powers that human beings can have. The supermen can have, the superwomen can have. We marvel at them, we get awestruck. So bring that sense of marvel. How to do it? Slowing down, anchoring with the breath, deepening our perception by going deep or going vast, and shaking hands with boredom. Now, where do we find this awe? How to do it we saw. Where do we find it? It's all around you. It's within you. If you just look at the human body, there is no dearth of awe there. We have come from one single cell. When the sperm and the ovum meet, that one single cell has today become 37 trillion cells. That one cell had the intelligence and the information where to give you eyes, where to give you the tongue, where you can speak, how do you hear, where to give you the heart which beats and the stomach which digests, and all the systems of the body. It came from one microscopic cell. That pushes you into amazement. Now you are made up of some 7 into 10 raised to 27 atoms. You know where these atoms came from? Where did they take birth? They took birth when the stars were formed, when they started exploding. This was 13.8 billion years ago. So every atom of your body was forged billions of years ago when the stars were exploding. The oxygen that we are breathing in, or the water that we drink, or the food that we eat, it has gone through millions of beings. So we are not just a static system, we are in a state of cosmic flow. If you look at any of the senses, the way you see, it's amazing how my image is getting into your eyes, onto the retina, the rods and cones are getting excited, and they are sending a signal into the optic nerve, which crosses in between, in the middle of the skull, and goes to the back of the head in the visual cortex, and the image actually is upside down, but you see it the way it is. It is amazing how it happens. How you hear. My words are falling on your ears. Eardrums are vibrating. You know how? There is a bone which hammers on the eardrum. That's why it's called a drum. So this sound energy is getting converted into mechanical energy. And that, the vibration of the eardrum, it sends the fluid in the ear into motion. And that fluid, it triggers some electrical impulses, and then you hear. So this conversion from sound energy into mechanical energy, into fluid energy, into electrical energy, no energy is lost. In fact, the sound gets amplified 22 times. So even though I may be whispering, but still you are able to hear me. That's because the sound is so subtle and so precise, it gets amplified 22 times, you can hear well. That is a sense of amazement. You look at how you eat, how the body digests, assimilates the food and sends it to every cell of the body, how it gets removed. The way you poo, it is hilarious. Bawa has spoken somewhere about this. Every system of the body, if you look at it, there is no dearth of amazement in it. This is the first place, easiest to look for awe. Then, if you just look around, nature is abound with it. You see the sun is setting or the sun is rising, that is a marvel. First of all, it's amazing how the gas itself is so heavy, 10 raised to 30 kilograms. And it rises and sets. Of course, it doesn't rise and set, but the way you see it, if you've lived 40, 50, 70, 80 years, you would not see the same sunset or the same sunrise twice ever. You look at the sky, it is a different art form every single day. That is amazement. You look at the flowers and the trees and the vegetables, and there's such infinite variety with the beings, whether it is microscopic, the bacteria and the viruses, whether it's the worms, whether it's the birds, there is such variety and such, you can go into a state of marvel just noticing these things. And then if you look at the universe itself, what are we? We are just a small little speck. The earth itself is a little speck in our galaxy, which has like billions of bodies like our planet. And there are trillions and trillions of these galaxies out there in the universe. It creates a sense of wonder and amazement. So there is amazement out there, there is amazement in here. Small little things can also make you taste that awe. When, let's say, a baby is looking at you, it looks at you with such wonder, like you are a form of magic and miracle. And when the baby is experiencing that awe, you also feel something within. That's why it feels so nice being with small children or babies. So either a baby could be touching with their soft little hands, or a beloved may be kissing you, or just look at maybe your guru, maybe your favorite deity. It can push our mind into that ecstasy. And this is what the saints and the spiritual masters, they were in a state of perpetual awe. We can be too. So instead of life being awful, we can make it awesome. So many questions that come up in our life, you just have to turn those questions into wonder. Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar Ji says, you can turn any question into wonder. That's what Krishna tells Arjuna. He says, all this is happening because of karma, and the ways of karma are unfathomable. So you can just look at the happenings in life and go into, wow, how is this happening? So I invite you to experience this awe on a daily basis, moment to moment, and be healthier and be happier. We can shift our life from being awful to being awesome. Here's to an awesome you.